Good morning, Pioneers. Welcome to The Grit. My name is Connor Morrison.
And my name is Justice Gullivan. Let's get started with this week's sports.
Today, the varsity girls volleyball team will head to Wright State in Dayton to take on Toledo State Ursula at 2 p.m. There will be a spirit bus that leaves the school around 11:30 a.m. If your parents call the school, you may have an excused absence, but if they don't call, you will be marked absent.
We will be clapping for the girls around 10:30. Good luck, girls. We hope to see you there and be loud. A referee made an unusual intervention during a star-studded charity football match when she yellow-carded a player so she could get a selfie with them. In the second half, Kaka was dribbling down the field when referee Lilac Asamoon blew her whistle and stopped the game for a moment, giving the 37-year-old a yellow card. Kaka was even booked, but as he asked the referee, she pulled out her phone and asked for a selfie, and the Brazilian was more than happy to oblige. Now let's throw it over to Andrew with an interview with the boys wrestling coach, Coach Tressler.
Coach Tressler, what motivated you to become a wrestling coach?
When I was in college, I had my old high school football coach and wrestling coach asked me to come back and help out the junior high. And when I was kind of in the middle of my program, and I hadn't looked at teaching and coaching, and then I realized that I had a passion for it, and it was something I really enjoyed doing was helping out student athletes.
Who are some of your best returners?
For this year, let's see here. I mean, we have a good group of seniors coming back. We have Dom Lee, Andrew Ingram. We have Ben Tong as well, and Jason Burt. Are some of our seniors, just to name a few. We also have returning district qualifiers Gavin Gaylor, Evan Pooter, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. But yeah.
What are you most excited for this season?
I think that seeing the growth from the wrestling aspect of it, we have a large group of kids that have really put in the time since last spring, and we've seen a lot of growth and jump from there as well. And so one of the things that we're seeing is going to be this idea that hopefully we see that growth from them and see where they're going.
What is the schedule like this year?
We actually adjust our schedule a little bit, so we have more one-day tournaments as opposed to two. It hopefully gives our wrestlers more opportunities to compete as well, and give them the opportunity to get some more wins. But I think that as a team, has a really great season for us to hopefully get some wins on the board and grow as a program.
That sounds great. And lastly, what are some strategies you use as a coach?
Wrestling is a very physical sport, and I think that sometimes people think that it's the physicality is all of it, but the mental aspect of it is an important point. A lot of wrestlers need to feel confident in themselves. They need to feel confident in the way they wrestle, in their abilities. And so really as a coaching staff, one of the things that we've really tried to work on is getting guys in a position to feel comfortable, feel ready to roll and wrestle and be explosive. And when any wrestler feels confident in the way they wrestle, they're going to be really successful.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Now, let's take a look into our school signing day.
Good morning, Pioneers. My name is Olivia Pazak, and here's a look into signing day.
How you doing? Andre Nash, Jr., Athletic Director here at Olentangy Orange High School. There were 7 different sports represented here at signing day today, and there were 13 different colleges represented.
Hi, I'm Brie Panzica, and I'm a senior. I signed to play lacrosse at the Savannah College of Art and Design. I think I've been playing lacrosse for 12 years. I started in 2nd grade. I'm so excited to be down in Savannah and be able to do my major and be able to study down there and also be able to play with the team.
Always do your best. Be the best version of yourselves. Never forget where you came from. Never forget that you are a Pioneer and that we love and support you here. Go Nears.
That's all for today, Pioneers. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Olivia. Now let's get started with our Pioneer Pick'ems. Starting off with college, we've got number 14 Tennessee versus number 16 Missouri. I think that's going to be a pretty good game, but I think I'm going to have to take Tennessee. They look pretty strong so far this year. What do you think?
I'm taking Missouri. They had a great game against Georgia. Lost by just 9 points, and honestly, Georgia's one of the best teams in the country, so I'm going to take Missouri in that one. Also, they're home. So, and the next one is the Ohio State Buckeyes taking on Michigan State at home. This is gonna be a bruising for Michigan State. They're terrible, obviously. And Ohio State is the number 1 team right now in the country. So I think that they go out and they get what they need to get done.
Yeah, I agree. Ohio State should win this one pretty handily. Don't really have a lot to say, except I really like the gray unis that we're wearing this weekend.
Agree with that. Then we got Utah versus Washington. And Washington just went up in the polls. They're number 4, coming off of a win against USC. And I'm going to take Washington in this one. They're going to continue to dominate probably. Probably finish the season undefeated unless they lose in the Pac-10 championship. But they've looked very good on offense as of late. And I'm excited to see how that continues to grow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Washington's got one of the best players in college with Mr. Penix. So I think they should be able to win pretty easily against Utah.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Ole Miss versus Georgia. Honestly, I think Ole Miss has a chance here, but I'm going to take Georgia. I think number 2 team in the country, probably the best team. They have like a 28-game win streak right now in a row, which is ridiculous. It's like one of the best ever, and I think that they do. I think it'll be a close game though, but I do see Georgia coming out on top.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that Georgia does have a rough couple games coming up against some ranked opponents, but they should be able to win them all relatively easily as long as they play well.
Yep. And then our big game for this weekend, what everyone's looking up for, even Ohio State fans, it's Penn State versus Michigan. And we've already played Penn State and in Michigan. These 3 teams are always battling for the top spot in the Big Ten East. And honestly, I'm going to take Penn State in this one. I know, Michigan has been dominating everyone in the Big Ten, including Ohio State the past 2 years, although it may be something to do with the sign stealing, but we'll gloss over that. But honestly, I don't like Michigan's schedule has been terrible. They haven't played anyone good, and Penn State's their first real challenge. I think there's a real chance that Penn State is able to come in here, get a big upset, and that shakes up the rankings a lot. So I'm going to have to take Penn State in this one.
Yeah, as much as I would like to see Michigan lose as an Ohio State fan, I do think that they're going to be able to win against Penn State. A lot of people have talked about, Michigan has had a pretty easy schedule. They've got the sign stealing stuff. But I think that in their first game against a real opponent like Penn State, they really want to show up and show them that they're worthy of their ranking spot and that they're worthy of a playoff spot. So I think that Michigan's probably going to show up and be able to shut down Penn State's offense. And then while Penn State's defense is pretty good, I think that Michigan has a lot more stars on offense that can kind of outplay their Penn State's defense.
Okay. And switching gears over to the NFL, we got a rivalry, Ravens versus Browns. I'm taking the Ravens, 7-2, best team in the AFC at the moment. Browns are a very good team still, both really good defenses, but the Ravens are coming off a 37-7 victory over the Seahawks. Just complete demolition of the Seahawks, and the Ravens are looking like the best team in football right now. So I do think it will be a decent game. I think people are sleeping on the Browns. They're a great team. The last game that they played, they lost the Ravens 20-3, but that was because a lot of quarterback problems. But now Deshaun Watson's back. He's healthy. The Browns are looking at the strongest that we've seen all season after killing the Cardinals. I think it'll be a good game, but I got the Ravens winning this one. I think Lamar Jackson, he's a field general this season, not getting the fancy stats, but he gets what he needs to get done, and it translates on the winning record. So I got the Ravens winning this one.
Yeah, I think Lamar has played really well. He's probably up there in MVP caliber play this season. I don't know if he's exactly in the conversation at this point in the season, but I think he should be. But I do obviously have to take my home team, the Browns. I think that getting Deshaun Watson back last week against a really bad Cardinals team, allowing him to get those reps, shake off some of the rust, was really helpful in his matchup against the Ravens. And this game has huge playoff implications as well. If the Ravens win, they'll have undefeated record against teams in their division. And if the Browns win, they would be 0-2 against the Ravens, 0-1 against the Steelers. So it's definitely a big game, probably one of the biggest games of the season so far. But I do think that the Ravens might be able to underestimate the Browns a little bit. Obviously, the last time that the Ravens and Browns played earlier this season, it wasn't really close because of the quarterback problems. Now, we are without our star running back, Nick Chubb, but I think that the Browns might be able to fight through some adversity there, and be able to pull out that win.
All right, and then we got another interesting game. We've got the Texans versus the Bengals, and this is probably, a lot of Bengals fans are Ohio State fans. C.J. Stroud on the Texans, and after the game he just had, honestly, put him in the MVP conversation. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, and he's playing against probably the weakest Bengals team that we've seen in the past 3 years. But I still have to take the Bengals. I just think Joe Burrow, he's finally, picking up. He's becoming Joe Burrow again. At the beginning of the season, he's kind of iffy. And so, honestly, I got to take the Bengals. Their defense is looking really good as of late, holding the Bills to 18. They've they're coming off of a strong win streak, 5-3. I think this is a big game for them to put them in that, to separate them from like the Browns and the Steelers that they're tied with in the division. I think that's a close game, though, because I do like the Texans' offense. I think it's really young and it has a lot of potential, but I'm going to have to take the Bengals.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go with the Bengals. The Texans team obviously looks really strong on offense. They are getting some key defensive players back this week, but I think that the Bengals, they're on a roll. They've won their past 4 games. Joe Burrow is looking like an MVP Joe Burrow again. And while they do have some wide receiver health problems, Jamar Chase has not been practicing this week. T. Higgins has been on and off. I think that the Bengals should be able to get this win with relative ease. I think.
Last game, we still, unfortunately, have a lot of Steelers fans. I think we can both agree on that. We both hate the Steelers, obviously. They're playing the Packers up north in Lambeau Field. Very hard place to play. So, I don't know. This is a battle of terrible. All right, these are both terrible offenses playing each other. The Packers they both have decent defenses, especially the Steelers. Very good. T.J. Watt is amazing, which is why I'm going to have to take the Steelers in this one. I just think the Packers' offense has looked horrible, and I think a couple touchdowns on probably like a touchdown or 2 from the defense that Steelers somehow always get will probably propel them. It will be a low-scoring, boring game, but I think that the Steelers get it done.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree. I think the Steelers are going to be able to win. Packers started off really hot in the first couple of weeks, and they've really just flamed out since then. They're not looking very strong on offense or defense, so I think that even though they're playing away at Lambeau Field, I think the Steelers should be able to win that one.
All right, and that's all we got for our pick-ems.
That's all we have for our pick-ems, and that's all for the Grit Show this week. As always, I'm Connor Morrison. Be sure to support your Nears in action today.
And I'm Justin Goldman. Thanks for turning into the Grit, and roll Nears.